Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Firstly, we'd like to thank the Sikh channel for being here today as part of the Seek to Inspire programs of events. We're here at Gurdwara Sahib in West Bromwich, and we're particularly going to be talking about Simran. As most of you are probably aware, we have the Jaap going on at the moment since the 14th of January, the 13th day today, in memory of the Charlie Mukti, who at Muktsar, in effect, were blessed by Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj and obtained salvation. There are many discussions that we're aware of at the moment about Simran. What are the benefits of Simran? Why do we do Simran? Should we do it alone, on your own, or should we do it as part of a Sangat? Are there any benefits? I'm going to start off with one tuk, which I think really sums it up for a Sikh, why we should be doing Simran. It's very important for us to realize Guru Sahib's bachan. The one and only Guru of the Sikhs, Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj, we're blessed by our fifth father, Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj. In that Gurbani, Maharaj gives us bachan. Bin Simran, din rain, birtha bahaye, megh bina, jyon kheti jaye. So Maharaj Ji first tells us, bin Simran. If we're not doing Simran, what is the loss? And I think that's probably the best place to start. If there's a loss for not doing it, everything must be a plus. On the panel, we have learned people Navreet Singh, Tajinder Singh, Inderjeet Singh. They will be obviously giving their opinions and views, but we will also be asking the Sangat to enlighten us of their experiences over the last 13 days and also other times when they've undertaken Simran. Going back to the tuk, bin Simran din rain birtha bahaye, megh bina jyon kheti jaye. Guru Sahib, Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj gives us blessing that a Sikh who doesn't do Simran, their day and night is worthless. For that Sikh who doesn't do any Simran, it is like in the field when you sow the seeds, without rain, nothing will grow. So if we're not doing Simran, that is the loss. The benefit of Simran, if we read Sukhmani Sahib the part, in the first Ashtapadi, Maharaj Ji gives us blessings of what the benefits of Simran are. I'm going to open it up to the panel first, and then obviously get the Sangat views as well. By Navreet Singh, I'll start with him. What are the benefits of doing Simran?
Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. When you read Gurbani, it doesn't matter which Shabad you take, any Gurbani, the Pankti, any Gurbani Shabad that you take, every single Shabad is giving you the same Upadesh over and over and over again, Naam Japarnu. So if you think in your own life, anything that you think is important, ਹੁਣ ਜੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਕੋਈ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਨਾ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਦੇ ਜਾਣਾ ਜਾਂ ਹਸਪੀਟਲ ਦਾ ਕੋਈ ਅਪਾਇੰਟਮੈਂਟ ਹੋਵੇ ਜਾਂ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਜਾਣਾ ਡੈਂਟਿਸਟ ਦੇ the thing that you need to remember, because it's quite important, ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹ ਥਾਂ ਤੇ ਲਿਖ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ 9 ਵਜੇ ਬੁੱਧਵਾਰ ਨੂੰ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਜਾਣਾ 9 ਵਜੇ ਬੁੱਧਵਾਰ ਨੂੰ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਤੇ ਜਾਣਾ and you write it in your phones and you put messages in and you write it on your fridge and whatever you've got. I've got a whiteboard in my room and you write things on there. And the reason you put it on there is it's important. It's so important you have to keep telling yourself over and over and over again that I need to do this kam. It's going to be bad for me, so you write it down everywhere. The Guru Granth Sahib Maharaj di Bani de andar 1430 ang of Gurbani is telling us the same message over and over and over and over again. Naam Japarnu. That's what the overall hukam of Guru Granth Sahib Ji is. The faida of Simran, the benefit of Simran, tusi koi bhi shabad le lo, ode vichon you'll find the benefits of Simran. Just very simply, one that sticks out to me, and Bhai Sahib Ji was giving a pankti from Sukhmani Sahib. Because Sukhmani Sahib de vichon, it's in Brahmavasta. When you read Sukhmani Sahib, it gives you that deep knowledge of why we have to jap naam and where we get to. Prabh ke Simran, Gyan, Dhyan, Tatbud. Ke is Simran karan de vichon, ajkal a lot of people say ke Simran, you have to try and learn to concentrate first. You have to learn to focus first and then do Simran. It's the wrong way around. Gurbani is saying ke is Simran karan de vichon, Vaheguru, Vaheguru, Vaheguru karan de vichon, Prabh ke Simran Gyan, ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ automatically ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਗਿਆਨ ਦੀ ਪ੍ਰਾਪਤੀ ਹੋਊਗੀ ਧਿਆਨ ਆਪੇ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਧਿਆਨ ਜੁੜੂਗਾ Gurbani gives you that surti the tatbud, the asli mentality that a human should have. That's what we get out of doing Simran. So the benefit overall is that you get everything out of it. ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਕੁਝ ਛੱਡਿਆ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਨੇ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ I think Bhai Sahib has explained it, and it might seem that we're going to keep repeating stuff because really it's simple. Through Simran you get everything, but like Bhai Sahib just touched on then again from Sukhmani Sahib, and what that by doing Simran our dhyan, we get dhyan, we be able to concentrate. And then also some people say, why do you constantly keep doing Simran by doing the same thing again and again? What's the point? Again, if we look at Sukhmani Sahib, the first Ashpadi, Maharaj starts off by saying Simra 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 Sukapavahu. Maharaj didn't just once, first of all they give a hukam Simra, but then they didn't just say give the hukam to Simr, they say it another 2 times Simra 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 Sukapavahu. So you have to constantly do abhyas of Simran. You have to constantly keep repeating. And then like Bhai Sahib said, as Sukhmani Sahib goes on, what do you get from doing Simran? Maharaj just told you so many different things. Maharaj starts off with saying Prabhaka Simran Garbana Basa. Now, as a human in this world, what's our aim? Our aim is to once again become one with the Kalpurk Vaheguru. And Maharaj straight away in Sukhmani Sahib there is telling you Prabhaka Simran Garbana Basa, that by doing Simran, by constantly repeating, by Simra Simra, just constantly to keep Simraning on Maharaj's name, on a Kalpurk's charan, you will never come into a June again, into a Garb June. You'll never come into a mother's womb again and take another life onto this earth. And where Maharaj has used if we look closely at Sukhmani Sahib, in the second body of the first Ashtapadi, Maharaj constantly uses the Shabad Kah. Now by using Kah, Maharaj is saying that only by doing that is what Maharaj Sri Guru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji Maharaj tells us, that it's only through Prabhu Simran that you'll become one with the Kalpurk Vaheguru. And like Bhai Sahib said, now that's a key point they touched on, is dhyan. People say you need to concentrate first, but Maharaj says only by doing Simran will you ever be able to concentrate. So anything else where people tell us that maybe we should talk more or we should do vichar, doing vichar is not a bad thing. We're doing it now, but it's about doing it Gurmat Ansar. Maharaj also says Galli Jogana Hui. Now Jog doesn't actually mean Jogi, to become a Jogi. Jog means to jod, to become one with the Kalpurk Vaheguru. And Satguru Sahib Ji says Galli Jogana Hui. Just by purely talking to one another and doing vichar, we might be able to learn off each other, but we're not going to get to the actual aim. And Maharaj also says, Ayo Padan Sunan Ko Bani. Our whole purpose of being on this earth is to read and recite and listen to Gurbani. So this 40-day Jaap that has been started by these Gursikhs. Now, I've come from Leeds today. People sit at home every day at 9 o'clock in Leeds that I know, the Najwan of Leeds, and they sit there and they watch it every single day. And then on the weekends, they try their best to make it here. Now, if that's not a positive thing, I don't know what else is, because as well as Japping Naam themselves, they're spreading it with everyone else through the Sikh channel, and everyone is getting the chance. And Maharaj also in Sukhmani Sahib, if we look at that first Ashpadi, they tell you the mehma of doing Simran constantly. But the last 2 panktiyan of each body of that first Ashpadi is pretty much, Maharaj also tells us that doing Simran, only that person does Simran who has daya of Akal Purkh Vaheguru, who Maharaj does daya on you, and you are then able to do Simran. And then at the same time, Maharaj constantly tells you that those that do Simran, Maharaj is begging for their Sangat. So if Sri Guru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji is begging for the Sangat of those that do Simran, we should also be begging for the Sangat of those that do Simran, and then try to join with that Sangat, and also help ourselves break free from these 8.4 million lives. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
Okay, so slightly different view. I mean, I think the Senghs here have given you the perfect answers to the benefits of Simran. Slightly different, more worldly kind of view I want to share with you guys. Can someone put their hands up and just give me a name of a Gursikh that you admire from Sikh history, from Guru Sahib's history, from modern history, whatever? Can someone just put their hands up, name of a Gursikh that you admire? Hanji. Sant Naam Singh Ji Rampur Khere Wale. Can someone else give me a name of a Gursikh that you admire in history, please? Hanji. Baba Banda Singh Ji Bahadur. Anybody else? Baba Deep Singh Ji. Anybody else? Is that it? So we all got 3 Gursikhs that we admire in Sikh history. Can someone else give me a name? Sukha Jinda, Pai Mani Singh Ji, Sahibzade, Sanjarnaya Singh Ji, Mata Sahib Kaur Ji. Thank you. Thank you, Baji. Right. Now, next question. What is the one thing that makes these people role models? Some of them were Shaheed, some of them are Mahapurush, some of them are Sevadar. ਇਹਨਾਂ 'ਚ ਇੱਕ ਕਿਹੜੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਸੀ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸੀਗੀ? ਨਾਮ ਬਾਣੀ. The people that we look up to in our lives, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਰੋਲ ਮਾਡਲ ਆ, ਉਹ ਨਾਮ ਬਾਣੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਭਿੱਜੇ ਹੋਏ ਸੀ. No matter what they did in their life, whether it was seva, whether it was Gurbani, whether it was Prachar, whether it was giving their life for the Panth or for Sikhi, Guru Sahibs themselves, everyone that we look up to in our history, in our current history, recent history, past history, Naam Bani, Simran, Nitnem, Gurbani, these are the things that are the current themes, always there. So what are the benefits of doing Simran? I think the benefits of doing Simran are there in front of us, but tak assi dekh sakte hain. Our history is evidence to the benefits of doing Simran. Even if we don't understand Gurbani, kaise kei hunde ke sanu shabd da pata nahi lagda ke Maharaj ki kende a, especially those of us who are born here in England, we don't necessarily understand Gurmukhi, we don't understand Punjabi, we don't understand Katha, but we know history. We can read history. So when we look at history and we look at the history of Mahapurush, we look at the history of soldiers, look at the history of Sevadars, and we look at what did they do in their daily lives. You see the fact that they woke up in the mornings, the fact that they did lots of Nitnem, the fact that they spent their day and night doing Simran Jaap. So the benefits of doing Simran are there in front of us. Now, they only became who they became, one through Gurbani and Naam, and secondly through Maharaj's Kirpa. Maharaj blessed them for the seva they had, whatever seva that was, and they received that. But we can see the benefits of Naam Simran. Now, if we taught from Gurbani, if we break away from Naam, like Pai Sahib said right at the start, what do we lose when we give up Naam? Well, then let's look at our own lives. Kinnik sukhi hain. Let's look at the lives of Gursikhs, Gurmukhs that we look up to, and let's look at our own lives. And fark je hoga fark aa hoga Naam Bani de vich. Uno ko Naam Bani si, shed sad ko na hove. There will be people here who got lots, so please don't take this in the wrong way. But the benefits of Naam Simran there, even if you don't understand Gurbani, they're there in our role models. Every single one of our role models had that Naam Bani.
We've just mentioned role models and also what is missing if we're not doing Naam Simran. We all read Rara Sahib every day. Aakhan jiva visare mar jao. Without the Naam, a Sikh has no life. We might be walking around doing our daily chores, but as a Sikh we fail if we have no Naam. We also touched about role models. There's a view out there today, those who are empty in my opinion, who are saying that the shaheeds of the Panth, they were able to do that because it was their own doing. They had no Naam, they had no Simran. I can categorically tell you, it's my fundamental belief, from my own feelings and perception, from reading our history, Tan Tan Baba Deep Singh Ji, whose birthday is today, without a shadow of a doubt, jo ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਇਤਿਹਾਸ ਹੈ in bin ਸੱਚਾ ਹੈ. Maharaj Ji ਦੀ ਬਖਸ਼ਿਸ਼, if we go to Damdama Sahib today, you visit that pura, you concentrate. You can hear that Naam Simran from those walls even today, if you really want to. Abhyas, Naam Simran, jo shaheeda panth de. ਜਿਹੜੇ ਅੱਜ ਵੀ ਬੰਦੇ ਖਾਲੀ ਫਿਰਦੇ ਆ, ਉਹ ਅੱਜ ਵੀ ਇਹ ਤੋਹਮਤ ਲਾ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਕਿ ਸਾਡੇ ਜੋ ਪੰਥ ਦੇ ਮਹਾਨ ਸ਼ਹੀਦ ਆ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਆਪ ਦੀ ਕਰਨੀ ਸੀ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਕੋਲ ਨਾਮ ਅਭਿਆਸ ਸਿਮਰਨ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ. ਅੱਜ ਭਾਈ ਬਲਵੰਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਰਾਜੋਆਣਾ ਜੇ ਜੇਲ੍ਹ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਨੇ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਨਾਮ ਅਭਿਆਸ ਹੈ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਪੰਥ ਇਸ ਵੇਲੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਖੜਾ ਆ. ਧੰਨ ਧੰਨ ਬਾਬਾ ਦੀਪ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ, ਭਾਈ ਮਣੀ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ, ਭਾਈ ਤਾਰੂ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ, ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਵੀਰ ਨੇ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਵੀ ਕਿਹਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਜੋ ਸਾਡੇ ਪੰਥ ਵਿੱਚ ਮਹਾਨ ਸ਼ਖਸੀਅਤਾਂ ਹਨ, ਸੰਤ ਬਾਬਾ ਹਰਨਾਮ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਰਾਮਪੁਰ ਖੇੜੇ ਵਾਲਿਆਂ ਦਾ ਜ਼ਿਕਰ ਹੋਇਆ, ਉਹ ਨਾਮ ਅਭਿਆਸ ਦਾ ਕੈਂਪ ਲਾਉਂਦੇ ਸੀ, ਜਿੱਥੇ ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਮਹਾਂਪੁਰਖ ਸੰਤ ਬਾਬਾ ਕਰਤਾਰ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਸਮੇਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜੋ ਵੀ ਸੰਪਰਦਾਵਾਂ ਸਨ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਉੱਚ ਕੋਟੀ ਦੇ ਮਹਾਂਪੁਰਖ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਮ ਸਿਮਰਨ ਦੇ ਕੈਂਪ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਸਨ. ਸੋ ਦਾਸ ਦੀ ਤਾਂ ਇਹੀ ਬੇਨਤੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਇਹੋ ਜਿਹੇ ਮਹਾਨ ਗੁਰਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਜੇ ਇਸ ਦੀ ਮਹਿਸੂਸ ਹੋਇਆ ਕਿ ਨਾਮ ਸਿਮਰਨ ਕਰਨ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਹੈ, ਤਾਂ ਅੱਜ ਸਾਡੇ ਵਰਗਿਆਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੀ ਹਿੰਮਤ ਆ, ਕੀ ਜ਼ੁਰਤ ਆ ਕਿ ਕਹਿਣ ਵੀ ਨਾਮ ਸਿਮਰਨ ਦੀ ਕੋਈ ਲੋੜ ਨਹੀਂ. We talked about Simran, we talked about Naam. The next question I will pose for everybody here and for audiences who are going to watch this, where is this Simran? Where is it obtained? How do we get this Simran?
Ji ka khalsa, Vaheguru ji ki fateh. Naam is obtained from the Panj Pyare in the Hajuri of Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj in the Amrit ceremony and I've been blessed to have gone through that ceremony, and I was also like to make one point as well about Naam Simran as well, which is going off the point a little bit. A lot of people look for Akal Purkh. A lot of people look for God outside, and they search Him here, they search Him there. You know, they worship idols, they do all kinds of pilgrimages and whatnot. What many people fail to remember is that God is actually within us. And if you're blessed enough to realize God in your life, you realize that when you realize God inside you, the Shabd will appear inside you, and this is Akal Purkh himself. Bani Guru, Guru hai Bani. Basically, the Shabd, the Simran, the Vaheguru Mantra is Vaheguru himself. It's all one in the same. So if you're saying that we don't need to do Simran, that we don't need to japa Naam, that you're saying basically we don't need God. Basically. So in a nutshell, that's all I would like to say.
Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Bhai Sahib obviously gave the direct answer. Where do you get Naam from? It's attained by going in front of the Panj Pyare and giving your head just like the Panj Pyare originally did in 1699, and then you are blessed in the Hajuri of Satguru Sahib Ji to get Naam Didat. But then also Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji tells us that if you look at anything, any scriptures in the world, Maharaj says Bed Paran Simrat Sudakir Kine Ram Naam Ik Akhir, that if you look at all the Beds, the Purans, the Qurans, anything that you look at the end, it all boils down to one name, or the remembrance of one, and there they use the Shabad Ram Naam. Now by saying Ram, it doesn't mean that we're pujing Ram. This is where also people fall down. In Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji, there's Beyant Naams. Maharaj also says that the Naam, the amount of names for of Akal Purkh are unganit, that you can't count them. But Maharaj says that looking at everything, you can boil it down to one Akal Purkh's Naam of Ram. And then Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj did so much kirpa on the Sikh Panth that by taking the Jaap of the 4 different jugs and put it together into Vaheguru Mantra, where you get the fal of not just saying Ram, but you get the fal of saying every single name of Akal Purkh Vaheguru, and you attain that by going in front of the Panj Pyare. So I think it's important to realize sometimes people say, what should we jap? You can jap anything, because as Bhai Sahib says, Bani Guru, Guru hai Bani. Maharaj says that Bani is the Guru, and then at the same time Maharaj says Bani is Amrit Roop, and they say Naam is Amrit Roop. So whatever you jap, it's all the same, it's Amrit. And what's Amrit? Amrit is beyond death. That takes us beyond death. The only thing beyond death is God. So if we become beyond death, we become part of God, we become one again with God, just like Baba Deep Singh. Now any normal person who is within death cannot take the head off the floor and put it on their hand and carry on fighting. Only someone who is beyond death. Now what made Baba Deep Singh different to any normal person? It was Naam Bani. It was that they had taken Amrit, they had the Panchakara Dirat, and then they didn't just stop there, they carried on. They didn't think that's enough, they carried on, and they constantly recited Gurbani, constantly recited Vaheguru, and that is how you become Amrit, that's how you become beyond death. Now it's like there's loads of different people say different things, but you got to think personally yourself, what do you want from life? If you boil it down, what do we want from life? We're in this life. Now on short terms, you might want a good car, you might want a nice house. But if you really boil it down and sit down and think, everyone wants peace, and everyone wants peace, and the only way you're going to get peace is by coming one with Akal Purkh. Because if you don't, you're only going to be going around in the 8.4 million life form again and again and again. And without Gurbani and without Naam, you're never going to be able to break free. So you get Naam from the Panj Pyare, and the important thing is once you've got it, to keep japping it. Just because you've got it, it doesn't mean you stop there, but you keep japping it. And it doesn't matter whether you jap Vaheguru Mantra, Moor Mantra, or any Gurbani, it's all the same, and it's just about keep on doing it and keep reciting it. And like Bhai Sahib earlier said, that sometimes we think that we can't understand, but if you actually keep reciting it, Maharaj will give you that as well. Maharaj tells you Suniya Sata Santok again, just by listening, before you even recite, just by listening, you get Gyan. You get that Gyan through Maharaj's Kirpa, so it's all about just to keep doing. And don't get put off by anything negative.
Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Just wanted to burn over what my Devi Ji said there. Pulan Chukan Di Maafi first. I'm just a kida. You know, I couldn't even begin to go into talk about the depths of Naam. But building on what Baji said when we ask the questions, you know, the meaning of life, why am I here? what am I doing here? Now, the one thing that life has taught me, and I'm going to share an experience that happened just before I came to this, before we came into this hall. It's not my experience, it's another Benji, a very beautiful soul who I was blessed to meet within the Divan hall there. She's like, Benji, how long have you been tying a dastar? And this Benji is not Amritari. This is just through coming through the past 13 days. And she came up to me and she said, Benji, how do you tie your dastar? And I was like, get my kapras, wrap it around my head, and I'm here really. And she goes, I've always wanted to tie one. And then slowly, as we had the discussion, she's like, Benji, I really want to take Umrat. And she goes, coming to these programs, she goes, I'm scared. She goes, I'm so scared. She goes, I'm married. She goes, and my family don't want me to take Umrat. And she goes, when I come here, she goes, I can't describe it. She goes, I can't describe what I'm feeling, but I'm feeling something that I've never experienced before. Now, my benti is be, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਵੀਰ ਮਾਤਾ ਭੈਣਾਂ ਭਰਾਵਾਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਵੀ ਸਿਮਰਨ ਦਾ ਕੀ ਫਾਇਦਾ ਆ ਕੀ ਮੈਂ ਦਾ ਸਿਮਰਨ ਕਰਕੇ ਮੇਰੀ ਇੱਕ ਬੇਨਤੀ ਆਪੇ ਕਹਿ ਲਾ ਕਰਕੇ ਤੇ ਦੇਖੋ. Before we dismiss anything, it's like me, I'm a web developer, but if I'm telling a doctor, well, what's the point in you giving that person an antibiotic if they've got an infection? Who am I to discuss antibiotics when I only know how to put together a web page? We shouldn't discourage anyone or anything that we have no knowledge or understanding of. If anything, drop that down the box, show and experience it. No one's going to watch you if you're going to sit in your room or close your eyes and in your head say Vaheguru 5 times. Now this Bibi was a perfect example who's been coming for 13 days. And she was just like, I don't care, I'm willing to just take Umrat and that's it. And then I was like, well, whatever Vaheguru has in store for you, that's what will happen. But 13 days can take a Jivan, not even 13 days, 13 seconds, 13 moments. Tera, we're on the 13th day today, ultimately it comes down to Tera. But God, I wanted to build on what Baji says in this example that was, don't question something until you at least try to understand what it is. Look in your life. We're always searching for something. I'm still searching for things even as a good Sikh. I'm still trying to understand my relationship with God as a Sikh, a good Sikh, a Sikh, an Amritari Sikh, a non-Sikh, a Sikh who believes, who is not practicing, is that just that student. You are constantly learning. The life is to learn, to open your eyes, to love, to be part of things that. But we've closed ourselves off, I think, to so many things that if it's not in front of us, if it's not there, if it's not tangible, if it's nothing that we can see as a worldly or materialistic benefit for us, we don't really want to know it. But spiritually, this whole other world that, even as a Guru Sikh myself, I couldn't even begin to describe it. But hopefully what this Bibi just explained to me, that Maharaj obviously wanted us to share with you today, is that lives can change, people change. This is how powerful Vaheguru is. This is how powerful Simran is. If one person is ready to turn their back on a life that they've lived for 30, 40 odd years to embrace something completely new on the basis of Simran, it's got to be something pretty amazing, am I wrong? That's all I wanted to say. Bholan chukan di maafi again. I'm a Kira, I know nothing about these things, but Maharaj bakshin joga. Vaheguru ji ka khalsa, Vaheguru ji ki fateh.
We're discussing Simran and the benefits of it. Why are we doing Simran? We're here today at Guru Har Rai Sahib Gurdwara, where the 40-day Jaap is ongoing for the Chari Mukti in their remembrance. Today is day 13. The program itself will be, the Bhog will be on the 22nd of February. So those who haven't attended, please do so attend. Benji's just given us an experience that she spoke to somebody else who, coming to this Jaap for 13 days, has even shared their own experiences, and Guru di Bakshish Eniya, the Benji is even thinking about taking Amrit. So the benefit of the Jaap at this Gurdwara Sahib, with the help of the Prabandhak Committee, and the benefit of the Sikh channel, who is actually showing this program on a daily basis to those people who are unable to come to Guru Har Rai Sahib Gurdwara. People are watching this at home, throughout the continent, on the internet, and they're getting the benefit of Naam Simran through Sangat. The next thing I would put to the panel, Navreet Singh, firstly, we keep talking about Simran and Gurbani. Is there a difference between the two?
Vaheguru ji ka khalsa, Vaheguru ji ki fateh. Very uncomfortable sitting here, And these are really deep questions, you can only answer these questions if you've experienced it. And I'm not saying this, I can't do that whole Nimrata joke. You know, these are really deep things. Simran, Gurbani, these can only be understood. You have to read that Gurbani and you have to do that Simran. Similarities. To be honest, there's not much I can say on that. It must be a big Mahapurush who can say that. But ek gall hai, jehdi Gurbani hai na, ek akhar of Gurbani, ek akhar. ਇਹਦੇ 'ਚ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਭਾਈ ਸੁਖਦੇਵ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ was saying ਕਿ ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੀ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਵਸਦਾ. when ਗੁਰੂ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਧੁਰ ਕੀ ਬਾਣੀ ਆਈ ਆ, ਸੋਚਣ ਵਾਲੀ ਗੱਲ ਆ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਹੈ ਕੀ ਚੀਜ਼. ਇੱਕ ਤਾਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ a shadow, it's my shadow, right? If you see a shadow of me, that's my shadow. ਦੂਜਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ my reflection, it's still me. You're still having my darshan, seeing my reflection. The ek hunda to meet me in person. All those three things are images of me. But this is the real one. One's my shadow, one's the reflection, and one's me. Evi Maharaj hi sara kuch. When we see ke ek ta hunda reflection, a shadow of Maharaj. A shadow of Maharaj is jara kuch vi si dekhde hain. Is कहना Maharaj har ek cheez ch vasda. Tusi kite vi dekho. You look at anything, you can say that chair, walls, the sun, the moon. It's saariyan cheezain na, they're shadows of Maharaj as well. Then the reflection of Maharaj. All these people that we see that are in Guru's Swaroop, these are all reflection of Guru Maharaj. But asli jehda Guru Maharaj ya, in Guru Maharaj is complete and utter entity. Oh hai Gurbani. Gurbani, ek akhar of Gurbani is the complete embodiment of what Akal Purkh really is. And then when we say ਜਦੋਂ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ 'ਚ ਵੀ ਨਾ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਨੇ ਇਹ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਪਸ਼ਟੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਨੇ ਦੋ ਪੰਕਤੀਆਂ come to mind. ਇੱਕ ਹਰ ਜਨ ਦੋ ਏਕ ਹੈ. ਇੱਕ ਪੰਕਤੀ ਹੋ ਗਈ ਤੇ ਦੂਜਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਕਿ ਜਿਨ ਹਰ ਜਪਿਆ ਸੇ ਹਰ ਹੋਏ. We say some people, you see them, ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਏਦਾਂ ਹੀ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਕਿ this one Gursikh said to me once, sorry ਮੈਂ ਥੋੜਾ ਟਾਈਮ ਲੈ ਰਿਹਾ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ, but this one Gursikh said to me is ਬੀਬੀ ਬਲਜੀਤ ਕੌਰ ਤਲਵਾੜੇ ਵਾਲੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕੀਰਤਨ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ, ਰਾਗੀ ਸਿੰਘਣੀ. And she goes ਕਿ ਰਾਮਪੁਰ ਖੇੜੇ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਸੀ ਕੀਰਤਨ ਕਰਨ. And she was quite in Bairag when she was telling us this girl. She goes, मैं कीर्तन कर रही हाँ ते अगे संत बाबा हरनाम सिंह जी बैठे संगत दे विच ते उस संगत च बैठे ना इदां मस्ती च बैठे सी. She goes, मैं कीर्तन करदी मैं अखां खोल के ना I was just like sometimes थोड़ा ध्यान टुट जांदा नहीं look at the संगत. She goes, मैनू भुलेखा जा पै गया कि मैनू पता नहीं सी लगदा कि गुरु नानक देव जी बैठे आ जां संत हरनाम सिंह जी बैठे आ. ਹੁਣ ਅੱਜ ਕੱਲ੍ਹ ਲੋਕੀ ਇਹ ਵੀ ਗੱਲ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੇ ਭਰਮ ਪਖੰਡਾਂ 'ਚ ਵੀ ਲੈ ਜਾਣਾ. But that's their loss, not ours. ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਨਾ ਘਾਟਾ ਨਾ ਲਈਏ ਕੋਈ. At the end of the day, ਇਹ ਕਈ ਗੁਰਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਦੀ ਏਦਾਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਹੋਈਆਂ. I remember this one Gursikh once. I'm just on this same ਗੱਲ because this is very, very important. Bhai Sahib ji said, what did all these Gursikhs have in common, these great, great Gursikhs? Was their ਜੀਵਨ. ਉਹ ਬੇਸ਼ੱਕ ਬਾਣੀ ਪੜ੍ਹਦੇ ਸੀ, ਨਾਮ ਜਪਦੇ ਸੀ, whatever they were doing, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਜੀਵਨ ਪੂਰਾ ਬਣਿਆ. That's why they became who they became. I remember this one singer I used to know, and he used to stay mostly in Nihanг ਸਿੰਘਾਂ 'ਚ. It's a very important ਗੱਲ for us. ਉਹ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਨਿਹੰਗ ਸਿੰਘਾਂ 'ਚ ਰਹਿੰਦਾ ਸੀ, and he used to have a slight dislike for certain Akhand Ki Jatha Singhs. Because he used to say, bas naam hi japde, this, that, and we all know how it's like. Right? We all have these negativities in us. And he went to see a certain Gursikh. And when he came back, he goes to me, he goes, you know what, my views changed. Guru ਸਾਰਿਆਂ 'ਚ ਵਸਦਾ, ਸਾਰਾ ਪੰਥ ਚੜ੍ਹਦੀ ਕਲਾ ਦੇ ਕੇ what's happened to him? And he goes, ਇੱਕ ਅਖੰਡ ਕੀ ਜਥੇਦਾਰ ਸਿੰਘ. And he goes, you're probably going to think it's beadabi me saying this. And I was like, what's he going to say? And he goes, when I was sitting with him, he goes, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਏਦਾਂ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਸੀ ਮੈਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਦੀ ਸੰਗਤ ਕਰ ਰਿਹਾ. He goes, I really felt in so much bairag ਕਿ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਇਹਦੇ ਵਾਂਗੂ ਹੀ ਹੋਣਾ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਮੇਰਾ. And he was in such bairag because he goes ਕਿ ਜੇ ਆ ਗੁਰਸਿੱਖ ਇਹੋ ਜਿਹਾ ਆ ਤਾਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਦੀ ਕਿਹੋ ਜਿਹੀ ਕਲਾ ਹੋਣੀ ਆ. To sit in Guru Nanak Dev Ji Sangat, Guru Nanak Dev Ji de call back and naam japna. What must that Sangat be like? It's sari Gurbani di kala because they enshrine Gurbani within them. And that Gurbani itself is Akal Purkh. Tusi aap Akal Purkh de darshan kar rahe hain when you do Gursikhan di Sangat, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਰੰਗੀਆਂ ਹੋਈਆਂ ਰੂਹਾਂ. ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪੁੱਛਿਆ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਨਾਮ ਤੇ ਬਾਣੀ, ਜਿੰਨਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਬਾਣੀ ਪੜੋ, every single pankti is going to push you to have more ras, to want to jap more naam. Tusi koi bhi pankti padde hain, you read that pankti of Gurbani and it's talking about Naam Simran. It's talking about the Uchchiya Avasthavan of Naam Simran. It's talking about the benefits of Naam Simran. So every single time, Nitne mi lalo tusi, your Panj Baniya in the morning are fueling you. Tusi your Panj Baniya swear nu pad ke na, you should feel every day, you should have that feeling that you had when you walked out of your Amr Sanchar. That's the idea of Panj Baniya. Ke tusi roj hi na, o Amr de jidi dhar. Every single day you should read that Nitnem. And you should walk out of there, thoda andaro Simran challe, and when you go out into the dunya, that Bani that you've read has fueled you for the day. Doesn't matter what you come across, but you feel in Chardi Kala. So, fark da nahi manu pata, but enna manu pata ke jehड़ा tusi Bani padde a, that's gonna fuel you to do Simran. That's I think.
We've obviously been celebrating, commemorating the Chari Mukti and the Jaap of the Guru Mantra Vaheguru. So the next question I'm going to ask Indrajit Singh is, what is the meaning behind the word Vaheguru, and why do we do Simran of just the word Vaheguru, or the Shabd Vaheguru, should I say?
To go into the full meaning of the word Vaheguru, you would need a very learned person. Not only would you need a very learned person, you need someone who actually has done a bias of Guru Mantra, Vaheguru, all their lives. I can only give you my limited understanding based on my own experiences, and it will be very limited. There are Guru Sikhs in the room here with us, some who are smiling now, who have done Simran all their lives, who would be so much better placed to answer this question, but they're camera shy, so they're not going to come forwards. They're sitting in that corner. But Vaheguru, so Maharaj tells us, Vaheguru Guru Mantra hai, jap home koi. So Vaheguru is the Guru's mantra. Now, in the past, in India and in various places, when you go to a holy person, you go to a guru, you go to a teacher, you ask them a question. Now, Bhai Sukhdev Singh told us earlier about people try all sorts of things about trying to find God. And some will do some kinds of rituals, some will read some kind of mantra, some kind of poetry. They'll say a certain line, they'll say a certain word, they'll wear certain things. And as I said, a mantra is a set of words. And it's often said that if you repeat this so many times, you will get something. And different gurus in different panth, in different faiths, different religions have different types of mantra. But the Guru mantra is the mantra that our Guru has given us. And what Gurban tells us that Vaheguru Guru mantra hai. So the Vaheguru mantra is the one that the Guru has given us. Jap hum koi. Now that means repeating that mantra, doing jap of that mantra, gets rid of hum, gets rid of Hankar. Now why do we need to get rid of Hankar? Let's take the question back to again what Bhai Sukhdev Singh said. He said the purpose of life is to get to Vaheguru. Now the one thing and the biggest thing stopping us from getting to Vaheguru is Agyanata and Hankar. Hankar is also called Homme. Agyanata, because we don't even realise what Vaheguru is. We don't even realise that Hankar has got his claws into us. We haven't got the Gyan. Gyan means knowledge. Agyanata means a lack of knowledge, means darkness. Because we're so shrouded by darkness, we don't even realise who we are, what we're here to do. That's the Agyanata. And what is a soldier of Agyanata? The soldier of Agyanata is Homme, Hankar. Because bande nu hunda ke main I'm here. Mere bal na hunda. It's through my hard work I achieved this. It's through my efforts that I've got this house. It's through my efforts that my family eats and drinks. It's through my efforts that mere nyane bacche mere kamai na palde a. Oh banda Hankar hunda. Right? Agyanata and Hankar, they're the two things that stop us from getting to Vaheguru. The Hankar tells us that it's me, whereas Gurbani tells us that there is only Vaheguru Akal Purkh. Sirf Vaheguru, hor koi cheez nahi, kali Vaheguru hai. But Agyanata le Hankar sanu kehte nahi, main bhi hega. And Maharaj Gurbani tells us again and again, the moment you kill your Hankar off, when you get rid of your Hankar and you realise that there is only Vaheguru, that's when you merge. When you realise there's no more I, there's only He. कि ओहिया तुहिया मैं तो है ही नहीं जो होमे मर जाता फिर वाहिगुरु की प्राप्ति मिलती है महाराज जी telling us कि वाहिगुरु गुरु मंत्र है जप होमे कोई कि ਇਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੋਮੇ ਮਿਟਦੀ ਆ ਲੈ ਹੋਮੇ ਮਿਟਣ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਦੀ ਪ੍ਰਾਪਤੀ ਮਿਲਦੀ ਆ so that's one thing behind ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ now Bhai Gurdas ji tells us what ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ actually means, how it's broken down, and don't want to get into this too much because it's a whole big topic, but Sikhi believes in different jugs. And each jug lasts for many hundreds of thousands of years. And each jug had a name that was japt in that name. Is a mantra that was repeated in that jug to get to Vaheguru, to get Prapti of Maharaj. And Bhai Gurdas ji said in the last 4 jug, he said in the first one it was Vasudev, then it was Hari, then it was Gobind, then it was Ram. So these are the names of God that were repeated in those different jugs. And Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj, for his bhakti, for his tapasya, Maharaj spent many jugs, many countless periods, can't even put a number on the number of years. Maharaj Guru Nanak Dev Ji did tapasya, did bhakti. At the end of the bhakti, Maharaj came back with the name Vaheguru. And Maharaj blessed us with that Vaheguru. So Guru Nanak Dev Ji di bhakti de naal sanu mantra milya. Pehli gal. So this is the gift from Guru Nanak Dev Ji to us, first of all. The second thing is, it's a gift from Guru Nanak Dev Ji. And we already said that you get this mantra, you get the Guru mantra, you get the Vaheguru mantra from the Panj Pyare. Now, we all have birthdays, some of us, when we were kids, you celebrated Christmas and other stuff, and you give each other gifts for whatever reason. Now, if someone gives you a gift, and if you look at it, acha nice ya, and you leave it there, you put it on the table, and parone thode hafte baad fe hon, and that gift ਉੱਥੇ ਪਈ ਆ, ਨਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪੇਪਰ ਖੋਲਿਆ, ਨਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਵਰਤੀ, ਉੱਥੇ ਟੇਬਲ ਤੇ ਉੱਥੇ ਪਈ ਆ, ਅਗਰ ਇਹਨੇ ਗੁੱਸਾ ਕਰਨਾ ਨਾ ਕਿ ਮੈਨੇ ਪਿਆਰ ਨਾਲ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਚੀਜ਼ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆ ਕੇ ਦਿੱਤੀ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਹ ਟੇਬਲ ਤੇ ਰੱਖਤੀ, ਖੋਲੀ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ, ਵਰਤੀ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ, ਚਲੋ you've left it there. What's even worse is if you can't find it, it's gathering dust in the corner. If someone gives you a gift and you don't use it, वो मारी गल आ. Now ਸਾਨੂੰ ਪੰਜ ਪਿਆਰੇ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ, ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਪੰਜ ਬਾਣੀਆਂ ਦਾ ਨਿਤਨੇਮ ਆ. You must read these ਪੰਜ ਬਾਣੀਆਂ. And the ਪੰਜ ਪਿਆਰੇ stand there and they give us the mantra. They give us Guru mantra. Ke sikha, aa tera mantra hai, Guru da mantra hai. And they read it to us. They give it to us. They teach us how to say Guru mantra, how to say Vaheguru. They teach us how to say Mool mantra. These are gifts. ਆ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਪੰਜ ਪਿਆਰੇ ਨੇ ਦਿੱਤੀਆਂ. ਐਂਡ ਅਗੇਨ ਜਿਸ ਦੇਖੇ ਪੰਜ ਪਿਆਰੇ ਹੈ ਕੌਣ? ਆ ਪੰਜ ਪਿਆਰੇ ਉਹ ਹਨ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਸੀਸ ਦੇ ਕੇ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤ ਛਕਿਆ ਸੀ. So they gave their heads for that amrit and for the duty of doing ਪੰਜ ਪਿਆਰੇ ਦੀ duty. And then they're giving us the gift of Guru mantra, Mool mantra, ਨਿਤਨੇਮ ਦੀਆਂ ਬਾਣੀਆਂ. Now if we have this gift of Guru mantra, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਦਾ ਮੰਤਰ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਪੰਜਾਂ ਪਿਆਰੇ ਨੇ ਦਿੱਤਾ, ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਦੇਵ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਇੰਨੀ ਭਗਤੀ ਕਰਕੇ ਦੇ ਦਿੱਤਾ, ਜੇ ਉੱਥੇ ਪਏ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਹੀ ਹੈ ਕਿੰਨੀ ਮਾਰੀ ਗੱਲ ਆ. ਤਾਂ ਵੇ ਗੁਰਸਿੱਖ ਨੂੰ ਬਾਣੀ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਪੜ੍ਹਨੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਹੈ, ਵੱਧ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਧ ਬਾਣੀ, ਨਿਤਨੇਮ ਵੱਧ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਧ, ਪਰ ਉਸ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਨਾਲ ਮੂਲ ਮੰਤਰ ਲਈ ਗੁਰੂ ਮੰਤਰ ਦੀ ਵੀ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਹੈ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਪੰਜਾਂ ਪਿਆਰਿਆਂ ਦਾਤ ਬਖਸ਼ੀ ਹੋਈ ਆ. ਜੇ ਇਕੱਲੀ ਨਿਤਨੇਮ, ਜੇ ਇਕੱਲੀ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੁੰਦੀ, ਪੰਜੇ ਪਿਆਰੇ ਨੇ ਉਹੀ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਬਖਸ਼ੀਆਂ ਸੀ, ਪਰ ਪੰਜਾਂ ਪਿਆਰੇ ਨੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਆਪ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਨਿਤਨੇਮ ਦੀਆਂ ਬਾਣੀਆਂ, ਪੰਜਾਂ ਬਾਣੀਆਂ, ਗੁਰ ਮੰਤਰ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਦਾ ਜਾਪ ਤੇ ਮੂਲ ਮੰਤਰ ਦਾ ਜਾਪ ਸਤ ਕਰਾਉਣਾ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਕਰਨਾ ਵੀ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ. So these are the gifts. So where did Vaheguru come from? It came from Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj through their gift. And how does it get to us? Through the Panj Pyare and their gift. What does it mean? It means Vahe. Another translation, Vahe great, Guru meaning darkness, Ru meaning light. So the great one, he destroys that darkness and gives us light. Again, darkness is Agyanta, darkness is Hankar, darkness is a Panj Chor, Kam, Krodh, Lom, Hankar. Vaheguru is the one who destroys all this and gives us a light. And light kiya ta Vaheguru tu hi hai. So the meaning of Vaheguru is beyond. ਬਸ ਸਾਡੇ ਦਿਲਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਿਆਰ ਹੋਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਨੇ, ਕਿ ਜੋ ਹੋਰ ਕੁਛ ਨਹੀਂ, ਇਵਨ ਇਫ ਯੂ ਡੋਂਟ ਅੰਡਰਸਟੈਂਡ, ਅਸੀਂ ਕਹਿ ਕੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਮੂਰਖ ਹੈ, ਸਾਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਗੱਲ ਦਾ ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗਦਾ. ਜੇ ਮੂਰਖ ਹੈ, ਸਿਆਣੀ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਮੰਨ ਲਓ. ਸਿਆਣਾ ਕੋਈ ਨਾ, ਗੁਰੂ ਗ੍ਰੰਥ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ. ਸਿਆਣਾ ਕੀ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ? ਨਾਮ ਜਪੋ ਜੀ, ਇੰਨੀ ਗੱਲ ਇੰਨੀ ਮੰਨ ਲਓ. ਉੱਤੋਂ ਉੱਪਰ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਇਫ ਵੀ ਦ ਸਲੇਵਸ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਦਾਸ ਆ, ਦਾਸ ਆ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ, ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਦਾਸ ਆ, ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨੌਕਰ ਆ. ਨੌਕਰ ਨੂੰ ਮਾਲਿਕ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਮੰਨਣੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਆ. ਮਾਲਿਕ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਨਾਮ ਜਪ. ਜੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਗੱਲ ਦਾ ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗਦਾ, ਬਸ ਜਿਸ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਦੇ ਹੁਕਮ ਹੀ ਮੰਨਣਾ. ਹੁਕਮ ਕੀ? ਨਾਮ ਜਪੋ, ਬਾਣੀ ਪੜੋ. ਸਾਨੂੰ ਆਹ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਕਰਨੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ. And last thing, sorry I'm taking a lot of time. So I want to thank the Sangat and Sikh channel for giving us this opportunity today. Okay, there's so many times we discuss controversial things. ਕਿ ਫਲਾਣਾ ਆਹ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ, ਉਹ ਆਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ, ਇੱਥੇ ਆਹ ਹੋ ਗਈ ਚੀਜ਼, ਉਹ ਹੋ ਗਈ ਚੀਜ਼. We very rarely discuss Gurbani. We very rarely discuss the need to read Gurbani or to do Naam Simran and Jaap. ਪਰ ਜੇ ਸਿੱਖੀ ਜੀ ਦੇਖੀ, ਆਹ ਤਾਂ ਖਾਸ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ. ਜੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਸ ਜੇ ਵਿਚਾਰ ਕਰਨੀ ਆ, ਜੇ ਕਥਾ ਕਰਨੀ ਹੈ, ਉਸ ਗੱਲ ਦੀ ਕਥਾ ਕਰੀਏ, ਉਸ ਗੱਲ ਦੀ ਵਿਚਾਰ ਕਰੀਏ ਜਿਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਸਾਡਾ ਜੀਵਨ ਸੁਧਰਨਾ. ਉਹ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਨਾ ਕਰੀਏ ਜਿਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਸਾਡਾ ਜੀਵਨ ਸਮਾਂ ਹੋਰ ਡਿੱਗਦਾ. So first of all, thank you to all the Sangat, thank you to the Gurdwara Sahib, thank you Sikh channel for giving us a chance to actually talk about something that's going to help us with our lives.
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ. ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਜਿੱਥੋਂ ਸਿੱਖੀ ਦੀ ਨੀਂਹ ਚੱਲੀ, ਜਿੱਥੋਂ ਸ਼ਹੀਦਾਂ ਦੀ ਨੀਂਹ ਚੱਲੀ, ਸ਼ਹੀਦਾਂ ਦੇ ਸਰਤਾਜ ਗੁਰੂ ਅਰਜਨ ਦੇਵ ਜੀ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਜੀ ਦਾ ਨਾਮ ਜਪੋ. ਸਾਰੇ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਧੰਨ ਗੁਰੂ ਅਰਜਨ ਦੇਵ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ, ਧੰਨ ਗੁਰੂ ਅਰਜਨ ਦੇਵ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ, ਧੰਨ ਗੁਰੂ ਅਰਜਨ ਦੇਵ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ. ਸਾਡੇ ਧੰਨ ਮਾਤਾ ਭਾਨੀ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਅਸੀਸ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਸੀ ਆਪਣੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਅਰਜਨ ਦੇਵ ਜੀ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਨੂੰ, ਪੁੱਤਾ ਮਾਤਾ ਕੀ ਅਸੀਸ, ਨਿਮਕ ਨਾ ਵਿਸਰੋ ਤੁਮ ਕੋ ਹਰ ਹਰ ਸਦਾ ਭਜੋ ਜਗਦੀਸ਼. ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਸੱਚੇ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਅਕਾਲ ਪੁਰਖ ਦਾ ਨਾਮ ਜਪ ਕੇ ਤੱਤੀਆਂ ਤਵੀਆਂ ਤੇ ਵੀ ਬੈਠੇ, ਡੋਲੇ ਨਹੀਂ, ਸਾਨੂੰ ਸਿੱਖੀ ਦੇ ਰਾਸਤੇ ਤੇ ਚੱਲਣਾ ਸਿਖਾਇਆ. ਤੇ ਦੂਸਰੀ ਗੱਲ ਇਹ ਆ ਕਿ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਪ੍ਰੂਫ ਦੇਣ ਦੀ ਜ਼ਰੂਰਤ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗੀ, ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਣ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਨਾਮ ਕਿਉਂ ਜਪਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਤੇ 40 ਦਿਨ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਿਮਰਨ ਕਿਉਂ ਰੱਖਿਆ ਹੈ। ਸ਼ੁਕਰਾਨਾ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਹੈ ਨੌਜਵਾਨਾਂ ਦਾ, ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨਾਲ, ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿ ਆਉਣ ਵਾਲੇ ਪੰਥ ਨੂੰ, ਆਉਣ ਵਾਲੇ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਪੰਥ ਨੂੰ ਸੰਭਾਲਣਾ ਹੈ, ਆਉਣ ਵਾਲੀ ਪੀੜ੍ਹੀ ਨੇ ਇਹ 40 ਦਿਨ ਦਾ ਸਿਮਰਨ ਰੱਖਿਆ ਹੈ। ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਿੰਨਿਆਂ ਨੇ ਇਹ 40 ਦਿਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਤਰ ਜਾਣਾ ਹੈ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਰੋਜ਼ਾਨਾ ਦਾ ਹੀ ਨਿਤਨੇਮ ਹਰ ਰੋਜ਼ ਦਾ ਬਣ ਜਾਣਾ ਹੈ। ਕੋਈ ਡਰਨ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਨਹੀਂ, ਚੰਗੇ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਦੇ ਤੇ ਕੋਈ ਡਰਨ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਨਹੀਂ, ਮਾੜਾ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਨ ਦੀ ਕੋਈ ਡਰੋ ਤੁਸੀਂ, ਕੀ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਪ੍ਰੂਫ ਦੇਣ ਦੀ ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਲੋੜ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ। ਦੂਸਰੀ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਤੇ ਸਿਮਰਨ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਜੋ ਆਪਾਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ, ਜਿੰਨੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਪੜ੍ਹਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਸਿਮਰਨ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਨਹੀਂ ਜ਼ੋਰ ਲਾ ਕੇ ਚਲਾਉਣ ਦੀ, ਫਿਰ ਸਿਮਰਨ ਆਪੇ ਹੀ ਚੱਲੀ ਜਾਣਾ ਹੈ। ਫਿਰ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਨੇ ਸਵਾਸ ਆਪੇ ਹੀ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਕਰੀ ਜਾਣੀ ਹੈ। ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਸੱਚੇ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਹਰ ਇੱਕ ਤੁਕ ਬਾਣੀ ਦੀ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ 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 ਜਪਣ ਨੂੰ ਕਹਿੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਸਾਨੂੰ, ਇਹੋ ਹੀ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਹੈ। ਜਿੱਥੋਂ ਵੀ ਚੱਲਣੀ ਹੈ ਸਾਡੀਆਂ ਜੋ ਬੀਬੀਆਂ ਬੱਚੀਆਂ ਹੁਣ ਬੈਠੀਆਂ ਹਨ, ਸੁਣਨ ਵਾਲੇ ਵੀ ਹਨ, ਜੋ ਸਾਰੇ ਜੋ ਸਾਡੀਆਂ ਮਾਤਾਵਾਂ ਹਨ, ਜਦੋਂ ਵੀ ਸਾਡਾ ਬੱਚਾ ਕੋਈ ਡੋਲਦਾ ਹੈ, ਕੁਛ ਵੀ ਕਿਸੇ ਪਾਸੇ, ਇਹੋ ਹੀ ਅਸੀਸ ਦਿਓ, ਪੂਤਾ ਮਾਤਾ ਕੀ ਅਸੀਸ, ਨਿਮਕ ਨਾ ਵਿਸਰੋ ਤੁਮ ਕੋ ਹਰ ਹਰ, ਸਦਾ ਭਜੋ ਜਗਦੀਸ਼। ਭਰੋਸਾ ਰੱਖੋ, ਡੋਲੋ ਨਾ। ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਭਰੋਸਾ ਪਹਾੜੀਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਹਿਲਾ ਦਿੰਦਾ ਹੈ। ਪਰ ਆਉਣ ਵਾਲੀਆਂ ਸੰਗਤਾਂ ਜੋ ਇਹ ਸਿਮਰਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹਾਜ਼ਰੀ ਭਰਦੀਆਂ ਹਨ, ਉਸ ਦਾ ਤਾਂ ਹਰ ਇੱਕ ਦਾ ਇਕੱਲੇ ਇਕੱਲੇ ਦਾ ਮਨ ਇਹੀ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਹੋਵੇ ਕਿ ਹਰ ਰੋਜ਼ ਹੀ ਸਿਮਰਨ ਹੋਵੇ, 40 ਦਿਨ ਲਈ ਨਾ ਹੋਵੇ। ਬਾਬਾ ਜੀ ਹਰਨਾਮ ਸਿੰਘ ਰਾਮਪੁਰ ਖੇੜੇ ਵਾਲਿਆਂ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕੀਤੀ ਸੀ, ਸੇਕ ਨੇਹਾ ਬੁੱਕ ਕਈਆਂ ਨੇ ਪੜ੍ਹੀ ਹੋਣੀ ਆ। ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਾਬਾ ਜੀ ਹਰਨਾਮ ਸਿੰਘ ਰਾਮਪੁਰ ਖੇੜੇ ਵਾਲੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਇਹ ਪੜ੍ਹਦੇ ਸੀ, ਸੁਖਨੀ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਦਾ ਜਾਪ ਕਰਦੇ ਸੀ, ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਦੋਂ ਉਹਦੇ ਤੋਂ ਕਾਈ ਭੂਖੇ ਕੋ ਦੇਵਤਾਦਾਰ, ਬਾਬਾ ਜੀ ਦੇ ਮਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੰਨੀ ਗੱਲ ਆਈ, ਇੰਨੀ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਹੋਈ, 40 ਦਿਨ ਲਈ ਬਾਬਾ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਭੁੱਖੇ ਰਹਿ ਕੇ ਜਲ ਪਾਣੀ ਤੋਂ ਬਿਨਾਂ ਨਾਮ ਜਪਿਆ, ਬਾਣੀ ਪੜ੍ਹੀ। ਤੇ ਸਿੰਘ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਕਿ ਉੱਥੇ ਉਹ ਕਿਤਾਬ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਲਿਖਿਆ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਸਿੰਘ ਚੋਰੀ ਚੋਰੀ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਸੀ, ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੀ ਡਿਊਟੀ ਲੱਗੀ ਸੀ, ਕਿਤੇ ਬਾਬਾ ਜੀ ਪਾਣੀ ਤੋਂ ਬਿਨਾਂ ਕੁਛ ਵੀ ਬੇਹੋਸ਼ ਹੋ ਕੇ ਤਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਡੱਪੇ। ਬਾਬਾ ਜੀ ਹਰ ਰੋਜ਼ ਸੈਰ ਲਈ ਜਾਂਦੇ, ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਭੁੱਖ ਨਹੀਂ ਲੱਗੀ। ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਸੱਚੇ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਜੋ ਮਾਤਾ ਦੇ ਗਰਭ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਿਮਰਨ ਦਿੰਦਾ ਹੈ, ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ, ਆਪਾਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਕਿ ਸਵਾਸ ਬੱਚਾ ਮਾਤਾ ਦੇ ਗਰਭ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਿਮਰਨ ਨਾਮ ਜਪਦਾ ਹੈ। ਤੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਇਹੋ ਜਿਹਾ ਭਰੋਸਾ ਰੱਖਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਹੈ, ਜਦੋਂ ਵੀ ਕੋਈ ਗੁਰਸਿੱਖ ਤੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਗੁਰੂ ਦਾ ਸਿੱਖ 10ਵੇਂ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਦਾ ਸਿੱਖ ਬਣ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ, ਉਸ ਤੇ ਕਦੇ ਵੀ ਕੋਈ ਦੁੱਖ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਹੈ, ਮੇਰੇ ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਸੱਚੇ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਨਾ ਉਹਦੇ ਸੱਜੇ ਨਾ ਖੱਬੇ ਕੋਈ ਦੁੱਖ ਲੱਗਣ ਨਹੀਂ ਦਿੰਦੇ। ਦੁੱਖ ਤਾਂ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਹੈ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ, ਪਰ ਹਨੇਰੀਆਂ ਵਾਂਗੂ ਚਲੇ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ। ਇਹ ਕਾਹਦੀ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਹੈ? ਇੱਕ ਨਾਮ ਦੀ ਕਿਰਪਾ, ਜੋ ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਸੱਚੇ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਬਾਣੀ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਹੈ। ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਧੰਨ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਗ੍ਰੰਥ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ ਹੀ ਬਖਸ਼ਾਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਨ। ਤੇ ਮੇਰਾ ਤਾਂ ਇਹੀ ਹੈ ਬਸ ਕਿ ਕੋਈ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਣ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਨਹੀਂ, ਅਸੀਂ ਨਾਮ ਕਿਉਂ ਜਪਦੇ, ਸਿਮਰਨ ਕਿਉਂ ਕਰਦੇ। ਸੁਣਨ ਵਾਲੇ ਵੀ ਤਾਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਗੁਰਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਨੇ ਸੁਣਨਾ ਹੈ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਹੀ ਕਿ ਸਿਮਰਨ ਕਿਉਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ। ਜੇ 40 ਦਿਨ ਦਾ ਸਿਮਰਨ ਰੱਖ ਲਿਆ ਤੇ ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੋ ਗਈ? ਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਹਰ ਰੋਜ਼ ਭਾਵੇਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਬੱਚੇ 40 ਦਿਨ, ਫਿਰ ਭਾਵੇਂ ਇੱਕ ਬ੍ਰੇਕ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਫਿਰ 40 ਦਿਨ ਦਾ ਸਿਮਰਨ ਰੱਖ ਲਓ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ।
ਧੰਨਵਾਦ ਮਾਤਾ ਜੀ ਦਾ। ਤੇ ਇੰਦਰਜੀਤ ਸਿੰਘ mentioned the meaning of ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ. From the darkness to the light, the wonderful Lord takes us. Many a time we would have heard from people, such and such an event was my darkest hour. I really suffered, I had this problem, I had that problem. So they all mention the darkest hour. But only with Guru's kirpa, with Guru's grace, firstly we are blessed with Naam in the roop of the Panj Pyare Guru Roop. And then whilst the Panj Baniya Nitnem in the morning, the Rara Sahib Kirtan Soila is very important for us on a daily basis. It's our shield. We have to do Naam Simran, Gur Mantra and Mool Mantra Jaap as given to us by the Panj Pyare during Amrit Sanchar. Because that is what creates that buzz, creates that feeling, that spirit that Navreet Singh even spoke about, that every day we should have that buzz when we've been in the Amrit Sanchar, when we leave the Amrit Sanchar, so that we do not lose that connection, that buzz with Guru Sahib. It's very, I think, blissful that this job has been started in the month of Magh. Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj, Magh Majan Sang Sadhuan, ਧੂੜੀ ਕਰ ਇਸਨਾਨ ਹਰ ਕਾ ਨਾਮ ਧਿਆਏ ਸੁਣ ਸਭਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਰਦਾਨ. My brothers from Seek to Inspire, Guru Kar Prabandh, Guru Harai Sahib Gurdwara West Bromwich, and even more so the Sikh channel. The blessings that Guru Sahib will give them for not only creating a program with the blessings of Guru Sahib and the efforts that they're all putting in as a collective team to not only jap naam themselves but joining with the Sangat. Having joined with the Sangat through the Sikh channel, this is going nationally and internationally, so obviously there will be benefits for the Sikh channel and their team from Guru Sahib, kyunki Bani keh rahi hai. I'm going to ask Tajinder Singh, why do we do Simran alone? And why do we do Simran in Sangat? What are the differences? Are there any differences? Are there any benefits of doing it alone and doing it within Sangat?
Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. First of all, like I'm sure everyone can get the answer that by doing Simran, whether you're alone or whether you're in Sangat, whenever you do Simran, there's a faida of doing it, you're always going to get fal. But then why come in the Sadh Sangat and do it? Now some people will say, well, you could just do Simran at home, what's the point in doing it for 40 days in Sangat? First of all, we need to see what's the mehma of Sangat. What does Maharaj say about Sangat? Maharaj says, Bina bhaga satsang na labba, bina sangat mail parijja jiyo. That only those who have got blessed pag, who've got really uche pag, do they find the Satsangat, do they come into the sanctuary of the Sangat and do they be able to meet the Sangat? And then without Sangat, Maharaj says that everything's mail, you're just going to get mail. Now, why do we come into Satsangat? We can say that at home you can do Simran and we should all do Simran at home, but coming into the Sangat, you get a lot of other things. First of all, by coming in Sangat, you learn off others. At home, you might sit there for 20 minutes, do Simran, Vaheguru, 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 20 minutes, and then you think you're the man or you're the woman, you know, oh, it's only me that does Simran. Without that, there's no one that japs as much Naam as me. As soon as you come into the Sangat, you will meet another Gursikh, a Gurmukh Pyara who does a lot more than you. So first of all, it keeps your Hankar in check coming into Sangat. You learn off others. You realise that it's not just you that japs Naam. There's all these other people. Like today, the Divan was absolutely full. There was nowhere to sit. So as soon as you come, you realise it's not just me that does it. Everyone else does it. And then by looking at other Gursikhs, you learn that I should do more. And you should jap more. And then also, by sitting in Sangat and japping Naam, you get further of repeating. Now the more of you that repeat it, that's how much further you're going to get. So if you sit in Sangat in the Charan of Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji and you all jap Naam together, you get that the more of you there are, the more fal you're going to get. And then Maharaj, you might think, what is Sangat then? Now Sangat, obviously he's coming to the Gurdwara Sahib and sitting in the Charan of Maharaj, but at the same time, you could do it at home with a few of you. Bhai Gurudas Ji says, Ek Sikh do Sadh Sang Panji Parameshwar. That one person is a Sikh, so by yourself you're just a Gursikh. When there's two of you, you become Sangat. When there's 5 or more of you, you become 5 or more Gursikhs that atyar pratyar that do Gurbani Abhyas, you become like Parmeshwar Roop. So by coming into the Sangat, you're in the Roop, you're part of Parmeshwar Sangat. Now, many other religions in the world say that they're looking for a heaven. They're looking to reach a heaven. We've got heaven on earth. All we have to do is go to it. But we decide not to. Now, that doesn't mean that doing Simran at home isn't good, because if you don't do Simran at home, you're never even going to get the furna to come into the Sangat. So it starts from home, but coming into Sangat, you're sitting in heaven on earth. And when you come to that heaven and you sing the praises of the Lord together, then you're just going to gain spiritually. And that Hankar that Bhainderji Singh was talking about earlier, that's going to get broke. That's the faida of Sangat. Now, we come to Sangat and the first teaching of Sangat, we all sit on the floor. Straight away, it's Nimrata. Coming to Sangat gives you Nimrata to keep japping Naam and to realise that you're on the same level as everyone else. At home, you might start japping it and you think, you're the only one that does it. As soon as you come into Sangat, you're on that same level. You might be sat next to someone that's never japped it. You might be sat next to someone who doesn't stop japping it. But coming into Sangat, you get that extra feather and you get that extra boost to keep you going. Without Sangat, if you totally stopped doing Sangat and you said that you're just going to do Simran by yourself, then Maharaj wouldn't have stopped people from being jogis. They would have said, go to the jungles. Why did Maharaj make us gristi and say, living the world, but at the same time, you do Sangat to keep your spirituality going? Otherwise, Maharaj could have said, go and sit by yourself in the jungles and just do abhyas there. But Maharaj stopped that and they gave us Sadh Sangat. They started, from Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib, they started Dharamsals, is what Gurdwara Sahib was originally known as. The whole point of that was that you get together as a group of Gursikhs and you jap and Naam together, and then the fal you will get, and it's immense. And we've talked about the benefits of Simran, so I don't think we have to go over that again, but that's just my views.
We talked about Simran, about Sangat, and also doing this at home yourselves. Before I pass to Pai Sahib, Maharaj the bachan on there that again we read every day. Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj, Avar kaj tere kite na kaam, mil sadh sangat bhaj keval naam. Sadh sangat de vich aan ke bachan Maharaj de aunde ne, sat sangat kaisi jaani hai, jithe eko naam vikhani hai. Sangat de vich, sangat de roopi de vich, Tajinder Singh huni ਦੱਸਿਆ ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਿ ਕੀ ਫਾਇਦੇ ਨੇ ਸੰਗਤ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਣ ਕੇ ਨਾਮ ਦੀ ਕਮਾਈ ਕਰਨ ਵਾਸਤੇ, ਨਾਮ ਜਪਣ ਵਾਸਤੇ. ਵੈਰੀ ਇੰਪੋਰਟੈਂਟ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਨਾਮ ਜਦੋਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਸੰਗਤ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਪਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਹੰਕਾਰ ਤੋਂ ਵੀ ਬਚ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਬੰਦਾ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਹਉਮੈ ਨਾਵੇਂ ਨਾਲ ਵਿਰੋਧ ਹੈ, ਦੋਏ ਨਾ ਵਸੈ ਇੱਕ ਥਾਏ. ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਭਾਜੀ ਨੇ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਵੀ ਦੱਸਿਆ, ਇੰਦਰਜੀਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਨੇ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਗੁਰਮੰਤਰ ਹੈ, ਜਪ ਹਉਮੈ ਖੋਈ. ਪੈਰਾਡੌਕਸੀਕਲ, ਪਰ ਜੇ ਹਉਮੈ ਹੰਕਾਰ ਨੂੰ ਮਾਰਨਾ ਆ ਤਾਂ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਤੋਂ ਬਗੈਰ ਸਰਨਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਾਡਾ. ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਨੂੰ ਜਪਾਂਗੇ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਦਾ ਨਾਮ ਜਪਾਂਗੇ, ਹੰਕਾਰ ਮਾਰਿਆ ਜਾਊਗਾ. ਪਰਦਾਸ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਇੱਕ ਬੇਨਤੀ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ, ਇਕੱਲੀ ਨਾਮ ਦੀ ਕਮਾਈ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਿੱਖ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਸੇਵਾ ਵੀ ਲਾਜ਼ਮੀ ਆ. ਸੇਵਾ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ, ਜੋ ਹਉਮੈ ਦਾ ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਈ ਵਾਰੀ ਚੜ੍ਹਿਆ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੰਕਾਰ, ਉਹ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸੇਵਾ ਕੀਤੀ, ਹੱਥੀਂ ਸੇਵਾ ਗੁਰੂ ਘਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਸੰਗਤ ਦੀ ਸੇਵਾ, ਉਹ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੰਕਾਰ ਆ ਬੰਦੇ ਨੂੰ ਉਹ ਚੜ੍ਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਕਦਾ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦੀ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਸਦਕਾ. ਸੋ ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਵੀਰ ਮੇਰੇ ਸਿੱਖ ਟੂ ਇੰਸਪਾਇਰ ਵਾਲੇ ਪ੍ਰਚਾਰ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ, ਜੋ ਕਿ ਇੰਦਰਜੀਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਨੇ ਦਰਬਾਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਸੀ, ਮਹੀਨੇ ਦੀ ਮਹੀਨੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਘਰਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਵੀ ਨੌਜਵਾਨ ਵੀਰ ਪ੍ਰਚਾਰ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ. ਆਪ ਨੂੰ ਸਭ ਨੂੰ ਬੇਨਤੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਸਹਾਇਤਾ ਕਰੋ, ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਲਵਾਓ, ਅਤੇ ਨਾਲ ਨਾਲ ਜੋ ਸਿੱਖ ਚੈਨਲ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਉਪਰਾਲਾ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ, ਜੋ ਕਿ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਵਿਸ਼ੇਸ਼ ਏਮ ਆਬਜੈਕਟਿਵ ਵੀ ਹੈ, ਵੀ ਘਰ ਘਰ ਜੋ ਗੁਰਮਤਿ ਦਾ ਪ੍ਰਚਾਰ ਹੈ, ਸਿੱਖੀ ਦਾ ਸੁਨੇਹਾ ਹੈ, ਉਹ ਪਹੁੰਚਾਉਣਾ, ਜੋ ਇਸ ਮਹੀਨੇ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜੋ ਕਿ ਖਾਸ ਤੌਰ 'ਤੇ ਦੇਖਣ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਇਆ ਹੈ ਆਪਣੇ ਮਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ, ਕਿ ਜੋ 13 ਜਨਵਰੀ ਤੋਂ 14 ਜਨਵਰੀ ਤੋਂ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਰੋਜ਼ਾਨਾ ਸ਼ਾਮ ਦੇ 9 ਤੋਂ 10 ਵਜੇ ਘਰ ਘਰ ਇਹ ਜੋ ਗੁਰਮੰਤਰ ਦਾ ਜਾਪ ਕਰਾ ਰਹੇ, ਸੰਗਤ ਦੇ ਦਰਸ਼ਨ ਕਰਾ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ. ਅਸਲ ਮੁੱਦਾ ਸਿੱਖ ਚੈਨਲ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਇਹੀ ਹੈ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦੀ ਬਖਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੀ ਹੈ. ਸੋ ਭਾਈ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਵਿਚਾਰ ਦੇਣੇ ਨੇ.
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ. We're gathered here today in this meeting, not the Simran inside, this meeting here right now is because there are elements and agencies out there that are questioning Naam Simran. The whole point is to question, why do we do Naam Simran? I want to break it down on a very childlike baby level. When Guru Nanak Dev Ji came to earth, they gave us 3 simple rules to follow. 3 simple rules. Every child, every Sikh child will know these. Naam Japo, Vand Shako, the Kirt Karo. The first one was Naam Japo. The very first principle Guru Nanak Dev Ji gave us is to jap Naam. By questioning the bachan of Guru Nanak Dev Ji, you're questioning Guru Nanak Dev Ji. So why would someone want to question Guru Nanak Dev Ji and break us away from Guru Nanak Dev Ji? That's the first question and first problem they have difficulty understanding. And the Sikhs, any great Sikh who's ever walked this earth, have all japt Vaheguru. You can spend thousands of years trying to research any Sikh who's done anything for the Panth. Try and find one who never did Naam Simran. Good luck. You'll never be able to do it. Guru Nanak Dev Ji told us straight, Naam Japo. That's the first thing Baba Ji told us. Guru Gobind Singh said the exact same thing. Guru Granth Sahib Ji tells us, Pai prapat manuk de horiya, Gobind milan ki eh teri bariya, avar kaaj tera kitana kaam, mil saad sangat paj keval. There's no other reason we're here but to jap Naam on this earth. This is our only chance to meet with Parameshwar. This is our only form, the human form, that we can jap Naam. Guru Gobind Singh in Dasam Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj tells us the exact same thing. Sab karam fokat jam, sab taram nefal man, bin ek naam adar, sab karam param bichar. Without this one name, Vaheguru, sab karam fokat jan, all of our karam are waste, atrig. Sab taram,
Every dharam, every righteous path is useless without the name of God. That's the only reason we're here. Death is above all of us. ना कीचे दवजिया ना कीचे गमान ना रेसिए दुनिया ना रेसी दीवान हाथी व घोड़े व लश्कर हजार होवेगे गर्क कुछ लगे ना बार दुनिया का दीवाना कहे मलक मेरा आई मौत सर पर ना मेरा ना तेरा. Death is above each and every one of us. What you remember on your last breath affects the other worlds. If you remember Waheguru on your last breath, then you'll forever be in Chardi Kala. Guru Gobind Singh tells us, Ek chit je ek shen te ayo, kaal faas ke beech na ayo. For one chit, one complete concentration, ek shen, one blink of an eye. If you remember Waheguru, then you never have to be born here again. When the Khalsa Raj takes place, and it's coming, Guru Nanak Dev Ji has told us, when Guru Nanak Dev Ji went to Makkah, they did Ucharan of Karni Nama, and there they told us, Waheguru Sab Japege Mukt Apni Jaan. Waheguru Sab Japege Mukt Apni Jaan. The only way to truly be Mukt is to jap Waheguru. And the Sikh channel is the people's channel. The people are the Sangat, the people of Guru Nanak Dev Ji. The people of Guru Nanak Dev Ji will always jap Waheguru and will always jap Waheguru. The Sikh channel will always show Waheguru Simran until the end of days. Every Sikh alive will jump Waheguru till the end of days. So let all these people ask their questions. They're only strengthening us. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
Sat Vaheguru